Hello, guys. I think maybe that's a little too low. One sec. I might need to yeah, I think this is better. That was very low. Yeah, it's better. Well, this is still low for you, but it's closer to my face for me now. Please tell me that you can hear me and I did not mute my microphone and forgot to turn it on or whatever this time, because I always do that. She will sure elaborate. Yeah, so yesterday I ended the live really early, well, earlier than I needed to because, Cindy was not feeling very well, and it was very scary because she was kind of panting. She was shaking. She was just not really being herself. This has never happened with her before. She's generally a pretty healthy dog. I'm also not an overreacting, dog owner. But this was really out of character, and it kept getting worse and stuff. So there is an emergency vet downstairs in my building. And I was like, okay, so we're going to go to the vet because at this point I'm terrified. And also as someone who has PTSD from the United States, I thought that this vet appointment is going to literally put me into a financial coma. I will tell you how much the vet cost at the end of it, and you probably will be very confused. But so, if you're from the US, that is. But so we went to the emergency vet at 2:30 or something like that, or 2:15. I walked her first. I gave her some food, which was kind of a mistake because they couldn't do an ultrasound because I fed her. But I wanted to see if she was going to eat, because we all know that dogs don't eat when they're feeling way too awful. Cindy is very food motivated. I don't know what has to happen for her to not eat, but alas. So I took her to the vet. He examined her. We kind of went over a lot of different options, kind of weeded things out. And it basically seems like she had eaten something that she wasn't supposed to and got food poisoning. And so she was having a severe stomach ache and really bad cramps and stuff. So the reason why she was hyperventilating is because when she would be when she's taking a full breath, her diaphragm would be sort of pushing in her stomach and it would hurt her. So they gave her some spasmatic. They gave her some painkillers and something else. One of them was a jab. One of them was liquid medication. And then they prescribed her meds, and I was told to go walk her until she poops, because she might, and I pardon my French, shit herself in the middle of the night, which I don't know what they meant by the middle of the night, because by the time we got out of the vet appointment, it was 3 a.m. So I was walking Cindy till 3:30 or 3:40 or something stupid like that. Yeah. Update: she did not poop herself. She was fine. This morning she was still kind of iffy and she was shaking a little bit and stuff like that. But then she slept most of the day because I'm sure she's not feeling too great. But he told me all of the symptoms to look out for it to basically things to look for to see if she's getting better or she's getting worse. And it seems like she's getting better. I did I did get her her meds. I gave her meds. She seems to be doing okay. She's eating. She's not active, but I don't expect her to be active. She's fine. So yeah, basically the vet appointment yesterday, I paid $50. Hi, Joey. I paid $50 for the vet appointment, but I also, so there are a lot of things that she's used to that are very available in the US, but are not available here. For instance, she really likes Benebones. If you have a dog, you've definitely had a Benebone. They're so hard to find here. I mean, they're so difficult to find. There is one bougie store that sells them because it's an American product. And that store closes at random hours. It used to work till 9, then it started working till 8. Now it works till 7. And it also doesn't work on Sundays now. So I basically can never get there before it closes. So that was really annoying. And I didn't know where to get those Benebones. other than order them. And then I kept forgetting to order the Benebones. And then at this vet, which is open 24/7, including the store, they have a massive like pet store that has everything that you might think a dog or a cat might need. And all of it is like your normal American stuff. So the $50 also included the Benebone I got her because she's a super chewer. She constantly needs to chew on something. So I think the appointment itself was 1,100 hryvnias, which is roughly almost $30. And then the rest was the Benebone. And it's a massive Benebone too. So yeah. So yeah, I was like shooketh at how affordable it was because it's an emergency vet at 2:30. Last time I called an emergency vet in New York to try and bring my dog in because I was scared about something she was like, some symptoms she was displaying. I was quoted $4,000. So like, hi Brian. So yeah, so that was I'm very happy, like it also makes me happy because in like knowing that I can take care of my dog in the middle of the night, no matter what happens, downstairs without having to go somewhere far away for less than $50 is like really sort of like heartwarming because it's, like in most cases in my life, I will have the $50. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's very, that was comforting, and I'm very happy that this did not happen in the United States because I would have freaked out and also not had the, the thousands of dollars that it would cost to bring your dog to the vet in the middle of the night. So that was sort of very good, and I'm also very happy to know that there is another thing. So she's on this like very specific kibble, and it's like nature's protection. So it's like very good kibble. I mean, like it doesn't have anything. It's like, I mean, very good kibble. We were talking about kibble, but it's like one of the better kibbles. It doesn't have any like extra shitty stuff and stuff like that. So, so I usually order it online because they don't sell this kibble anywhere. And if they do, they usually sell like the weird iteration of it. That's not right. They have a whole aisle of this kibble, and I mean like literally every flavor, every type, every single like kibble flavor, I don't know, variety you can imagine from that brand in that vet downstairs in my building. And the reason why I order like a freaking 10-kilogram bag, which like lasts her 4 months, and I have to haul it to my apartment, is because it's so difficult to find it. And I don't think I need to be ordering 10 kilograms of kibble up front anymore because there is that same kibble being sold downstairs. So yeah, so I'm kind of shocked because I've been living here for like a while now and I did not know this. But yeah, this is an update to my existence. What else? Well, United 24 still hasn't paid me. Where have I studied? In New York. Having a government job in Ukraine means you will consistently be paid 15 to 20 days late. And so you'll consistently be worried and stressed about money because, so United 24 is like the media itself is not government run, as in like they don't tell you what content to produce. They outsource teams that pitch their ideas, but they are paid by the government, right? Like the agency. So today is I'm supposed to be paid on the 1st. Today is the 11th. I still haven't gotten my paycheck. Well, deposit rather. I don't think I have been paid on time a single freaking time since I've worked there or with them, sort of, because I don't work for them. I work with them. And that's lovely because that stresses me out because I'm still $500 away from being able to pay that last bit of rent. And I would be able to pay that if I was paid. And I'm not paid. So that's very, very stressing. If you work for the Ukrainian government, wouldn't that make you an LGBTQIA plus propagandist? Yeah, sure. So according to the internet, I work for the CIA. I work for the MI6, mostly for the CIA. Some people were suggesting the FBI as well, but I think those are like the trolls that haven't gotten a grip on how the American special services work, because FBI deals with internal matters, not external matters. But yeah, I've at this point have worked in a lot of different government organizations, which I find incredibly funny, because I would love to. Do you know how much CIA pays? They also have a freaking fantastic dental insurance, from what I hear. They also have fantastic health insurance in general. So yeah, like, sign me up. Like, if any of those trolls know of open positions, I would love that. But I don't work for the CIA or the FBI or the MI6 or whatever other, I guess Mossad now is not nearly as popular, is it? Well, I mean, the CIA, yeah, you're right, Mr. Squiggle. CIA probably doesn't pay that much, but they do have really good insurance. And, in the US, if you have really good insurance, you're like kind of half set, right? Because most of the money that you spend anyway is on medication, trying to stay alive, and food, right? So, anyways, do you listen to Sophie Jean? If not, please give Immaterial a listen? No, I don't know who that is. What topics do they cover? I know you planted a 5G bug in me while I slept. Oh yes, of course. Everyone who sleeps on my couch gets 5G, sweetheart. That's for plebs and civilians. We are at 11GR Ultra Plus at this point. I don't know. I just figured, I'll name it like they name iPhones. 11XR Ultra Plus. Ukraine, one of the corrupted country in the world. Oh, really? What is it? One of the corrupted? Well, first of all, when you try to write something like that, I do suggest that you learn how to write that, because otherwise you just end up sounding a little funny. Also, no, Ukraine is not one of the most corrupt countries in the world. In fact, honey bunny, let's do this. One sec. What are the most corrupt countries in Ukraine? Nathan, yes. And that would be very kind of you. Corruption Perception Index. Let's see. Okay. Oi. So number 180, which means the most corrupt country in the world at the moment, is Somalia. Number 177 is Venezuela. Sorry, I'm doing sorry. I'm not doing this right. Corruption Perception Index is, it's funny how Corruption Perception Index. It's funny because I'm in Ukraine. Hi, Jay. And when I look up what are the most corrupt countries in the world, it gives me like, how does Ukraine rank in corruption? Transparency International. Let's see, because this is the table, but I'm not reading the right. There we have it. Okay, so This is weird because like the places they're ranking them is basically by corruption perception. So it's a little hard to, oh my gosh. Anyways, Ukraine is not even in the top 10, nor is it in the top 20 or top 30. So, and you can check that by a simple Google search, but I can't find the exact place that it holds because I'm looking at the corruption perception indexes. So it doesn't necessarily show me. Okay, let's do even like a simple Wikipedia search, which is an unreliable source, but that will have a ranking, a literal ranking. So, Denmark is the least corrupt country at number 1. Again, the most corrupt country over here at number 180 is Somalia. 179 is South Sudan. Syria, Yemen, Venezuela, Equatorial Guinea, Afghanistan, Sudan, North Korea, Guinea-Bissau, Libya, Democratic Republic of Congo, Haiti, Burundi, Republic of the Congo, Turkmenistan, Iraq, Cambodia, Chad, Nicaragua, Eritrea, Madagascar, Zimbabwe, Comoros, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Honduras, Bangladesh, Angola, Iran, Guatemala, Mozambique. We are at number 146 right now from 180, and we still do not see Ukraine here. Nigeria, Dominican Republic, Paraguay, Uganda, Kenya, Lebanon, Liberia, Mauritania, Papua New Guinea, Russia, number 137. And that's like, as in, not number 137, as in like they're so not corrupt. It's like, no. The most corrupt countries start at 180, okay? So, then we have Togo, then we have Mali, then we have Maldives, then we have Mexico, then we have Myanmar, Guinea, Laos, and then we have Ukraine. So, no, it's a long list of countries before we even get to Ukraine. Yeah. Do you know about everything happening against Azerbaijani Karabakh? Well, I know that Azerbaijan pushed out Armenia from Karabakh, and I know that it's a whole so I know that it's there is here's the thing, like I talked, okay, there is a question on TikTok about Azerbaijan and Armenia, and I went into a conversation about Gaza and Israel yesterday, and that turned into a whole thing, and so I don't want to do that again today. I'm not from Armenia, nor am I from Azerbaijan. I have my own perceptions of what's going on, but I'm not going to be necessarily sharing them because I don't think that it's reasonable, nor do I think it's fair. And I think that Armenia is a country in a position where it's very weak militarily and it's very dependent on Russia. And I think that throughout history, there has been a lot of stuff happening in that region, and it's such an ancient conflict that dates back so long ago that there is a lot that has happened there, and I can't even begin to like try and untangle it. But I don't feel comfortable discussing the situation in Artsakh/Karabakh because it's just not something that I feel comfortable elaborating on because it's just not my place. Okay. So, thank you, Bombi, for gifting a membership. Also, let me catch up on comments because I was, okay. I just noticed Pride Month emojis. Yeah, Pride Month emojis. Hi, Nicole. Also, hi, Archer. Hi, Dave. Hi, everyone. And also, thank you, Nathan. Oh my gosh. Yes, I did receive the PayPal. And thank you so very much, which basically is now with Nathan and Dave, it's 278.29 out of the like 500 with a bit of a tail that I am short on for the rent. Yes, it is for my, I think Diane was asking earlier and I didn't ignore the question. I saw it and then I was talking and then I forgot to answer it. And now I remember it again. But yeah, it's, I just re-signed the lease in New York because I have to. And if I want to keep my green card, and provided how unstable situation here is, I don't want to. And I basically had to spend a lot of money trying to figure that out. And also had to pay my Ukrainian rent and all the things. And I still haven't gotten my paycheck because it's always late. And I'm starting my new job tomorrow, which is fun because I was like, oh, well, this is not going to be a job in any way connected to the government, so they're going to pay on time, right? This is a channel like created by the Ministry of Culture in Ukraine. So it is another job whose paychecks are processed through the government system. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, I didn't even, like... But anyways, a job is better than no job. And also, I'm actually very excited. I'm very excited about this job, but at the same time, I'm just like, how is it that every job on my radar in this country has something to do with the government? Can you take these people to small claims court to get paid? No. There is not such a thing as there is not such a thing as doing that in Ukraine, and it's not. There's not such a thing as doing that in Ukraine, and also this is not like something that would help by any means. Like, they do pay. It's not like, it's not like they don't pay or they owe me like months and months of months and months of paychecks. It's just that they constantly delay the payment. And I think the reason why that happens, and maybe this is not going to be the case with this job, is because they outsource a lot of teams. So they pay the team like leader, or rather they pay the agency, and then the agency pays you. But like, I know for a fact that my like creative director pays me the day that he gets paid. And he's very nice and he's very communicative, but they constantly are like 15 to 20 days late. Which at this point, I should probably just assume that it's never going to come on the 1st. It's always going to come between the 15th and 20th. But yeah, no, there is no such thing as taking them to a small claims court. This is not how it works. Also, like, it's, I don't think it can take the government to a small claims court. Also, I don't think I want to do that. Like, I'm not, like, it's not like a full-time sort of situation here. I do certain, I do certain voiceovers for them and certain things. I don't know. That sounds like a very, yeah. First of all, I don't think it's a thing here. Second of all, I don't think I can fix that by any means. Third of all, it's really like not also, I probably should not be discussing this on the internet. I like really should probably not be discussing this on the internet. I do like working with United 24. I do like the Ukraine briefly thing that I'm doing with them. Also, sorry, there is like either a moth or a mosquito here. But yeah, anyways, moving on. Wait. Elven Archer starting a new project and I'm loving it. It has tractors and tanks. What does General Petraeus have to say? Oh, I will let you know what he has to say in a minute. Diane, the amount was, I mean, So it's 278.29 at the moment, which is very fantastic because it's out of 500 that I am lacking since the last time we spoke about this on Monday. Hi, Arlo. How can work for the government to give me advice? I'm kind of what? I have no idea. I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're saying. News. Yes. Let's go to the news because it's time. Also, one sec. So Nathan was asking, surely I have to go to bed early because I'm starting a new job tomorrow. So it's a job in the media, which means I'm not actually starting it at like 8 a.m., nor am I working at the office. So it's not, so it's not like I need to be there early in the morning. I need to be there at noon for like makeup, which I don't think I'm going to be quite doing because I don't really use a lot of makeup, but it's like it's the makeup for like TV when you do like TV things. But yeah, so I gotta be there at noon, and then I'm filming till I think 3 or 4. We are shooting a couple of pilots to sort of iron out the details. So basically, I think I can talk about this a little bit. There's going to be 2 shows that I'm going to be doing with this channel. I think I'm going to be able to tell you what the channel is tomorrow. Or the day after, or like Monday. Basically, we are thinking that these episodes are going to start coming out on the 17th. So it's an English-speaking channel that came out from the Ministry of Education, and it's not necessarily doing as well as it could. Because, well, I mean, they have Ukrainian-speaking channels, and they go well, but like, it's hard to start an English-speaking channel and sort of like have it go well if you have no experience with like Western audiences and stuff like that, and you don't necessarily know what to talk about or how to talk about it because it's different, So I am going to be a host for 2 new shows on there. One is going to be sort of like a conversation with experts. Think like similar to FAQU, the podcast that I used to have. And it's going to be once a week. And the other one is going to be 5 times a week. And it's going to be like 30 to 40 minute sort of like news breakdowns, but they're not going to be news stories and news breakdowns. We're going to be taking a topic that's like very prevalent in propaganda in the past week. And I'm going to be like debunking it and giving it more more facts and things like that. And kind of like, explaining the idea is basically that Russia is invading the West in hybrid warfare. And by that, I mean invading it informationally, right? And we are not, you guys are definitely seeing it. We are seeing it, but a lot of people are not seeing it. So I'm sort of going to be illustrating how it's happening. I'm going to be showing all the propaganda and stuff like that. And we're going to be having conversations. I'm going to talk about methods. I'm going to talk about how Russia was influencing Ukraine that way and what came of it. And like, drawing parallels. I'm going to be discussing like Trump and Orban. What are the similarities, or rather like Orban and, Yanukovych, what are the similarities and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is sort of what's going to be happening, and I'm kind of really excited. But tomorrow is like the first, it's like a test pilot shoot. So we have like the idea of the structure of the show and things like that. And I am very excited, nervous, but don't have to be up early. I have to be there at noon. And if I look like complete ass because I haven't slept well, there's going to be a makeup artist there who's going to fix that. So we've got that. But I also probably will bring my own makeup because I really don't like all of this. Like, I really don't like what makeup artists use. And I think that Ukrainian makeup artists use very, very heavy makeup, and it's very old school. Like think like news anchor in like the 2000s in the US, like, when they have all of like so much makeup, it's kind of like crazy. And I really don't like it. So I don't want that. So I am going to try and, stay as me as humanly possible. So yeah, we're there. Also, um, okay, I saw, one second. Oh my God. Okay, Diane and Richard, thank you very, very much. That actually together exceeded the amount needed by quite a bit, and that quite a bit is like $200. So please do let me know if I should send half and half back to both of you, or if you want me to use it for a specific thing. And I will do just that. um, but thank you very much. So yeah, just do let me know what you want me to do. But thank you. I am actually gonna for the homies, Diane and Richard. Oh yeah, there are so many clubs. Yeah, thank you so very much. Thank you. Well, but oh my God. Okay. I think this is a moth. Sorry, 1 second. I don't mean to poop the party, but why? Like, okay. So I really, I really don't like moths. Like, there are lots of bugs I can deal with. Moth is not one of them. I don't know what it is. I hate it. It's really gross. I don't want it anywhere near me. I know I'm like acting so prissy right now, but this was just not, it's set on me. And I like, okay, where is, sorry. I just like kind of want to like, this is a glasses cleaner, but 1 second. Where is, you guys, I'm so sorry. Do you mind if I go grab like a little napkin and like clean this? Because it's gonna bother me and I'm gonna keep getting distracted on this. I hate this very, very much. And I really want to get rid of it. 1 sec. Okay. I'll be back. I would show you Cindy, but I can't at the moment. She's resting from yesterday. Oh my God. Oh, that's so gross. Oh, I hate this so much. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, there's like moth remains on my. Okay. Okay. I'm good. Thank you for the standby mode and for waiting for me to deal with the moth. I'm so sorry you had to witness that. It was gross and I really apologize. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is what it is. We can now go to the news. No moths, no no distractions. Except, let me just read your comments that I might have missed while I was away dealing with the moth situation, and I will, and we will get to the news. Oh, sorry. I've been very, just, no, don't mind me. Okay. The moth presents a certain individual we want name. Oh my God. Okay. Also, Armin's quote of the day is up. So let me read that. Then I'll read the comments and then I'm going to get to the news. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Great is journalism, is not very able editor or ruler of the world, being the pursuit. Oh, okay. Great is journalism, is not very able editor or ruler of the world, being a persuader of it. Thomas Carlyle. Armin, are there any comments from you personally on this? Because every night you also leave a comment. Or is this like a prompt for me to comment? Okay. I screwed up also. Great is journalism, is not every able Editor, a ruler of the world, being the persuader of it. Thomas Carlyle. Yes, every editor is the ruler of the world, and basically the media is the ruler of the world because they shape your perception of how things are. For instance, today, one of the biggest pieces of news that I don't think any Western channels are really covering, and I don't think they will be covering because, let's face it, but Azov, to this day, was not allowed to have Western weapons. So last year, if you remember, we raised money for Azov as part of the Yewleea, which is an all-Ukrainian fundraiser for BMPs, I believe. It was BMPs. And it was me and Yulia partnering together. And I think at that point, we raised 150,000 hryvnias, and we together and in a joint effort, and we sent that to their jar, like Monobank jar. And Azov was buying their own Western BMPs with the money we as a country and you guys were contributing to their fundraisers. They do not get any Western weapons. Everything you've seen from them in Mariupol was done with like incredibly old, antiquated Soviet-style weapons, which is crazy. Since they have come back from captivity, they have still not been given permission to receive any Western weapons. So they still have been using Soviet-style weapons. They're severely undersupplied. This unit with a lot of potential, with very combat ready practices, sort of like with amazing physical readiness and programs, is not getting any Western weapons. And Russia made sure they wouldn't be. And this provision was put into the aid, sort of like as a provision of giving aid to Ukraine, was put in 2014 when Russia started the propaganda. And then it was dismissed in 2016, I believe, or something like that. And then in 2017 or 2018, it was put back, and then no one was able to lift it since. Today, that ban was lifted. So now Azov is going to be getting Western weapons. And that's a big deal because the reason Russia doesn't want Azov to have Western weapons so much is because look at what they've done, literally barely having any weapons available to them. Yeah. This is why Russia really doesn't want them to have those weapons. And it's going to be a really big deal it's going to be a really big deal when they do start getting the Western weapons, which is hopefully soon. Who in the USA lifted it? Biden lifted it. What was the reason they weren't allowed the Western weapons? Well, so Nazi organization because of Russian propaganda. So here is how it works, right? When a provision is being put to limit resources for specific groups or like for specific military groups, which Azov is a brigade of a National Guard. It's in the Ukrainian military. It's not a self-governed body by any means. But when such provisions are being put in place, they're usually being put in place by the government, right? And in order to lift them, it has to either be a presidential order or it has to be like a Senate vote or something like that. So senators vote for things their electorate wants them to vote for, because America is still a democracy, thankfully, in a lot of ways. While it's going through a lot of issues, there are still ways to influence our politicians. And Russia has been working tirelessly in spreading this propaganda to American electorate that Azov is a Nazi organization, which It's a brigade in the armed forces of Ukraine that it doesn't have religious or political views. It's a military organization. It's like saying the Navy SEALs are not a Nazi organization. But anyways, because this propaganda was so successful, none of the senators were going to push to remove this limitation, because then their electors would be pissed off and not vote for them. So, yeah, and there is an act in the US that forbids US funds to go to military groups accused of certain things. Exactly. But they're accused of certain things that have been disproved and proven wrong times and times again. This ban should have been lifted a long time ago. I'm happy it's lifted now, but also like it's, you know, it's been a very long time and it should have been lifted a very, very long time ago. And also Azov has been putting a lot of effort into like reaching out to American lawmakers, and like they made it happen for themselves. They have been pressing our government to talk to the American government. They have been pressing the American government. They have been sending like ambassadors from the brigade. It's been a whole thing. They put a lot of effort into it, and it's so fantastic to see that it actually paid off, because they deserve these freaking weapons. They were almost literally fighting Russia in Mariupol with their bare hands and like some AK-47s against tanks. Like, I don't know if you've heard this, but so if you guys are new here, there is an interview with one of my friends now, and an Azov regiment. At that time, it was a regiment. Now it's a brigade. But Azov Brigade serviceman Torque, on my channel, it's under Tougher Than Steel, and it's a 3-part interview. The 4th part was never released because it would take me like 4.5 hours to translate everything into English and then write it out. And then also more hours than that for Matt, who donated his voiceover to voice Torque to record it and then to edit it. It was like just not feasible, but we did 3 parts. And Torque, he was talking about the siege of Mariupol because he was there, and then he was in Azovstal, and then he was in Russian captivity. He was talking about how they would literally be standing in, like against tanks with an AK-47, because that's what they had left. They had no ammo, no supplies, no anything. It was it was awful. And a lot of people seem to not have known that Azov couldn't use Western weapons. Yeah, well, they couldn't. And now, hopefully, it's going to take no time for them to be able to compensate for that. Also, you guys, so I want to ask something, because a lot of you obviously watch YouTube and Shorts and TikTok and stuff like that. But so my format for TikTok videos was always sort of like a very close-up conversation. And then recently I realized that that might be a little bit outdated and people might not be wanting to watch that because it's too, 30-year-old millennial. So for those of you who watch a lot of YouTube videos or YouTube Shorts and stuff like that, I'm going to show you this video that I recorded about Azov. That's a very different style. And I will ask you to tell me if you think this is better. I really did not expect that this was going to happen, to be honest. I'm happy about it, and so are a lot of people, but I can already foresee a sea of comments that are going to go something like this. Nazi sympathizers! It is huge news, though, and it should have happened much sooner. A certain brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine that evidently cannot be named on this app, A3OB is usually the nickname that we use to bypass that, is getting Western weapons. Wait, they haven't been receiving Western weapons all this time? What did they fight in Mariupol with? Their bare hands. Not literally, but almost literally. This entire time in Mariupol included, A3OB brigade was not allowed to use Western weapons to fight. So they have been fighting with old Soviet stockpiles. And the reason why Russia tried so hard to keep that be that way is because imagine what they can do once they get Western weapons. Because the results they have showed in Mariupol, holding the city surrounded for so long, they showed with literally 0 modern arms.
Cheers.
So I was wondering if this style is like more, I guess, like I'm trying to see what, what people these days are doing and what videos are supposed to look like, and I'm trying to film them that way. Also, I noticed a comment here that is related to Ukraine news, so I am going to address it. So there is a lot of confusion around Third Assault and Azov, and people say, so here is Cheryl, and she says Roman Trochimets is Azov Third Assault Brigade. Roman Trochimets is Third Assault Brigade. Third Assault is not part of Azov. Third Assault has no problem with Western weapons. Also, Third Assault is not Azov. So here is how Third Assault was formed. A lot of the guys who used to serve in Azov, but were already retired, were not in the field anymore. We're not in Mariupol at the time of the full-scale invasion. We're not able to go back and mobilize into Azov because Mariupol was surrounded. Those former Azov guys who used to serve in Azov created Third Assault Brigade. And at first, they marketed themselves as Azov something. He has Azov on his insignia from 2015. So then he was part of Azov in 2015, but he is not. He's Third Assault and Azov are two separate brigades. Third Assault Brigade is Third Assault Brigade. Azov Brigade is Azov Brigade. So a lot of people that served in Azov serve in Third Assault today, because again, there are a lot of people that created Third Assault that were in Azov first. But there is a very big sort of situation around this, because Azov does not want the confusion between them and Third Assault Brigade, because a lot of people conflate them together and call it, oh, it's Azov Third Assault, or oh, it's Third Assault Azov, or like, oh, it's basically, people see it as the same thing. But it isn't. It's sort of like, imagine you served in the Navy SEALs and then you were not in the Navy SEALs anymore, but you have that experience. You know a lot of the people from your Navy SEALs unit, and you create your own military formation. And people call it the Navy SEALs because the people who used to serve in the Navy SEALs are now in that formation. So Third Assault is separate, Azov is separate. There are a lot of people that used to serve in Azov that now serve in Third Assault. A lot of them know each other, but as organizations, they're two completely different military units and military brigades. Azov is National Guard, Third Assault is the AFU. So these two are not the same, and people constantly keep like saying they're the same and conflating them with each other. And the reason why I'm explaining that is because Azov personally has a lot of an issue with that, because at the beginning of the full-scale invasion, what ended up happening is a lot of guys who served in Azov but don't anymore, or didn't serve at the time at which the full-scale invasion started, they went and opened and started their own units, and they would call it like SSO Azov, or like Azov Zaporizhia. I'm taking it out of my ass. Like, I don't know if there was Azov Zaporizhia, but they would basically say it's Azov Dnipro, Azov whatever. So Azov is very, very strict with what they put out into the media because of all of this propaganda, right? So they check their servicemen Instagrams. They really like, if journalists want to interview the servicemen, they ask for a list of questions so they have an idea of what the dialogue is going to be about, because they don't want to make the situation worse for themselves. So they don't like necessarily let the servicemen that serve there like post pictures with stupid shit or like jokes that could result in like people, using it for propaganda or something like that. Other units didn't do that. So what ended up happening in the beginning of the full-scale invasion is dudes who served in like these units that were named Azov but weren't, would come out and have like a patch that would have some bad insignia because they thought it's funny. They would be photographed, Russia would take it, put it on the screen and be like, look, Azov, Nazis. But these people have nothing to do with Azov. This is a completely new unit that might have been formed by someone who was from Azov, but isn't anymore, or like whatever. And these now are new recruits. And so that created the confusion around what Azov is and what Azov isn't, and who is in Azov and who isn't, has created a lot of media and propaganda issues for Azov. So they're very much very like stringent now on making a separation between them and Third Assault and any other unit that might have been founded by the same people that used to serve in Azov. So they try to like make a very big separation about it. Which, Cheryl, I'm not like trying to lecture you and say that you were wrong. I see a lot of people using Azov and Third Assault interchangeably, especially like I have a lot of like some foreign friends that serve in Ukraine. Thank you, Kalman. And they will come and they will be like, "Oh my gosh, you won't believe this!" But like Azov offered me to like interview with them to like join the unit, and I'm like, Azov or Third Assault or Third AB, and they're like, "Oh, Third AB," and I'm like, Third AB and Azov are two different things. Please stop saying that like this. Anyways, it's just like I know it's a very confusing thing, but don't interchangeably use Azov and 3rd AB. 3rd AB is a brigade within the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Azov is a brigade within the National Guard of Ukraine. Two very different things. And yes, there are a lot of people that used to serve in Azov that now serve in 3rd AB, but they're not the same thing. They were never like a unit formed together. It was always a separate unit that was created by people that used to serve in Azov at some point, and a lot of people that used to serve in Azov who weren't in Mariupol at the time at which the full-scale invasion happened went and joined Third Assault. So it's so yeah, it's a whole thing. Okay. Turkey will be represented at the upcoming Summit on Peace for Ukraine in Switzerland by the country's Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. Such important information that I get. Turkey really doesn't do much for peace between Russia and Ukraine other than just like, try to benefit from it, try to benefit off of the war with like Russian tourism. So I don't necessarily care who's going to represent it at the peace summit. Okay. President Zelensky chaired the meeting of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief where the following updates were provided. The defense forces have asserted control over the situation in Sumy region. Reports from Russian sources claiming the capture of Rozhivka village are deemed as propaganda misinformation, as there are no enemy troops present in the area. Ukrainian forces are currently engaged in a counteroffensive in Kharkiv region, where the enemy is undergoing regrouping. The situation remains challenging in the Donetsk region, while there have been no significant changes observed in southern direction. Also, Grumpy, I don't know whether Azov needs to change their name. Thank you, Dre. Putin is reportedly scheduled to visit North Korea in the coming weeks, as reported by the Russian media. Can he stay there? Because I hear it's hard to get out of North Korea, or almost impossible. I know that that's for citizens because they live in a dictatorship, but can we also impose that on Putin? Can he just go there and then stay there forever? Can they just like keep him? They seem to like him. Can they keep him? And it's going to be so close to home for him too, because like it literally looks like communist Russia during the Soviet Union. I think he'll love it. He will live in his USSR days and his KGB days. I think he would love it there. Honestly, I think he should stay. Sources close to the Russian leader suggest that he also intends to include Vietnam in his itinerary during his trip to Asia. During his visit to Pyongyang, Putin is expected to hold discussions with Kim Jong-un on various topics, including the enhancement of trade and economic relations between Russia and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, especially in the face of Western sanctions pressure. Additionally, the two leaders may focus on strengthening the supply of weapons from the DPRK to Russia as a key topic of conversation. Of course, we all know that North Korea is supplying lethal weapons to Russia. Also, thank you, Leo. Sorry, I'm so up in the clouds today. It's so hard for me to focus, and like again, for those of you who don't know, I'm severely ADHD. So like some days are better than others. But today, wow, like I get distracted by literally anything. I'm going to try and not read the comments for a second, for like a couple of minutes, because anytime I do, I start thinking about what the comment says, and then I basically lose my train of thoughts. But we know that North Korea is providing lethal weapons to Russia. We know that they're partnered. North Korea's weapons, however, are made with a lot of room for error, let's put it that way. And even though like North Korea supplies a lot of them to Russia, they're not good, and a lot of them they don't fire. A lot of them don't accomplish the jobs that they're supposed to accomplish, simply because they're trash. They're made trash. Like that doesn't mean that they don't. It doesn't mean that they don't cause damage. It just means that a lot of these weapons are not in the condition in which they should be, and they are not nearly as well made and as up to par as they should be. So that's a good thing about it. Switzerland is allocating 58.7 million francs, over $65 million, to the development of digital Ukraine during 2024-2028, according to the Ministry of Digital Transformation. Speaking of, in October, end of September, October, there is a Lviv IT Arena, which is a huge IT conference. It's 3 days long, and I was invited last year by the company that organizes it to come and visit it, and I did, but I didn't get to film a lot of it. This year, I'm going to IT Arena, and I'm going to try and make a whole video out of it and like kind of walk you through it and show you what's happening there. These funds will be used for implementing important anti-corruption services and revolutionary reforms. Specifically, they will support projects aimed at restoring regions affected by the full-scale invasion, as well as services in healthcare, education, and humanitarian demining, the ministry stated. Switzerland will officially announce its support for digitization and e-governance at the next Ukraine Recovery Conference, scheduled for June 11th and 12th, 2024 in Berlin. Lynn says, Rick interviewed an Azov defender on his at the Azovstal rally on Sunday. Yeah, I was talking to Rick the other day, and he was telling me about it. I'm actually very excited to hear the interview, because apparently the guy was not injured, and he was really lucky to have not been injured. And I'm very excited to listen to that interview that Rick did, because it seems like it's very insightful. And yeah, I'm going to give it a watch probably at the end of this week or something like that. Thank you, HD Gaming. Really appreciate it. This is a good time to just throw this in there. If you have the ability to subscribe to the TikTok live feature as a member, or if you have the ability to gift a membership to someone, these do really help me pay bills, keep me afloat, not have to depend on inconsistent payouts from my employers. And if you're able to subscribe to the TikTok live feature, really appreciate it. If you were subscribed, but you didn't renew your subscription, maybe you just didn't see that it didn't renew, and maybe you wanted to renew it. Just, maybe. If you are on YouTube and you are able to subscribe as a YouTube member to the channel, as a channel membership, that's also incredibly appreciated. And also, so are super chats and stickers, and on TikTok, they're animated gifts. And I have a Patreon or a Buy Me a Coffee or a PayPal. So yeah, if any contribution is a fantastic contribution, and thank you very, very, very much. Anyways, I get very uncomfortable talking about these things. So also, CyberDoc, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Okay. Vladimir Putin has no intention of stopping at Ukraine. Is my PayPal in my bio? Yes, it is. And I actually put it at the suggestion of someone in my bio on YouTube as well. Vladimir Putin has no intention of stopping at Ukraine, and his victory there would mean war against NATO, according to former head of the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA, allegedly. employer, David Petraeus. Western allies of Ukraine must do more to win the war with Russia, as Putin has made it very clear that he wants to bring another war to Europe. The war in Ukraine could spread to the region if Putin succeeds in Ukraine. Moldova will obviously be next. After that, it could be Lithuania or one of the Baltic states, Petraeus said. Separately, Petraeus noted that one of the levers that will help Ukraine defeat Russia is the development of its own technologies, which is what we're doing. And remember that what they did in the Black Sea was not done by their ships or sailors, but by their unmanned aerial vehicles. He means the sinking of the Russian Black Sea Fleet with literally sea drones that we invented ourselves. Naval drones, aerial drones, and anti-ship missiles allowed them to sink a third of the ships of the Black Sea Fleet. В якому-то штаті? В Києві. The former head of the CIA emphasized. However, according to Petraeus, the key to winning the war is for Ukraine to quickly increase its numbers and military power with the help of its Western allies. The reality is complex, and this is another reason why we should do everything possible to help Ukraine in every possible way, he concluded. Putin is Hitler version 2.0. I think Putin is Goebbels version 2.0, and people like Yanukovych, people like Orban, people like Trump are Hitlers, because one thing that no one ever draws attention to is that Goebbels was the mastermind behind Nazi Germany. Hitler was just the face of the ideology. It was not Hitler's ideology. Hitler was found by Goebbels at a bar, and he seemed relatable to your average working men. Ти американський агент, так, працюю в CIA, в ЦРУ, знаєш, і в MI6, і також працюю на африканську розвідку, і на Гондурас, і на все, що хочеш. Anyways, so basically, yeah, I think that Putin at the moment is Goebbels 2.0. And yeah, he's very right that, you know, there is already infrastructure for invading Moldova set in place in Transnistria, because Russia already did that back in the 90s, right? And if you have ever seen videos, like I'm asking you to look up on YouTube videos of what Transnistria looks like. It literally looks like the Soviet Union. It looks like Russia in the USSR. It's stuck there, and people don't know any better. A lot of the people that were born there, were raised there, have been there since, you know, the Soviet Union. They don't necessarily even know that there is a world outside of this, because they have been living in this situation since Russia invaded it. And of course, there is already infrastructure for invading Moldova set up there, because it's run by Russia. It's the Republic of Transnistria, same as, like, you know, DPR and LPR shows, but it's really just Russia invading Moldova. The head of the Ministry of Defense of the Netherlands, Kajsa Ollongren, arrived on an unannounced visit to Kyiv. Please fix my pronunciation if I just butchered her name. I know Ollongren is probably fine. I probably said that fine, but Kajsa, I don't know if I'm right. Switzerland has recorded an increase in cyber attacks and disinformation ahead of the June 15th to 16th Summit of Peace in Ukraine. Foreign Minister Ignatius Cassis noted that there was a clear interest in the breakdown of the talks, but avoided specifying who was behind the attacks when asked if Russia was involved. Yeah, I mean, pleading the fifth when you're asked if Russia was involved in the cyber attacks is kind of like confirming it. But hey, who else would be sending cyber attacks in Europe and on Switzerland specifically, when Switzerland is leaning closer and closer to, when Switzerland is actually in the center of the conversation about frozen Russian assets. And because Switzerland is, you know, neutral and holds so much Russian money. As a result of the attack on Kharkiv, of the most recent attack on Kharkiv, 6 people were injured. There is damage to residential buildings, garages, and cars at various addresses. The rescue operations are ongoing. 88% of those who died during the storm of Bakhmut were mercenaries of the Wagner PMC. They were prisoners, according to Russian sources. In the battles for Bakhmut, 19,547 Wagnerites died. 17,175 out of the 19,547 were prisoners recruited in the colonies by Prigozhin, who exchanged their lives and health for money and freedom. The other almost 2,500 Wagnerites were ordinary, free mercenaries. According to sources, the total number of convicts recruited by Wagner is no less than 48,300 people. Based on these figures, it becomes clear that every third convict rotted in Donetsk region. Wagner PMC is Wagner Private Military Company, which is a Russian mercenary company that was run by Prigozhin until his accidental demise in a plane crash. Oh, wow. You guys on YouTube don't hear the rain, but you on TikTok might hear the rain. That's kind of crazy. It's almost 20,000 people that were all convicts. They literally recruited them in order to just send them there as cannon fodder. 20,000 Russians, well, Russian convicts, not that I'm like upset for them or anything like that, but 20,000 of them died storming Bakhmut. Can you imagine? That's a crazy number. Explosions at Moscow arms factory in Poland left one person dead. A powerful explosion occurred at the Moscow arms factory in Świętokrzyskie voivodeship. Voivodeship is kind of like a state or oblast in Poland, in southern Poland, resulting in the death of a 59-year-old employee. According to Prime Minister Tusk, the explosion at the Moscow facility is not linked to external forces. So weirdly, it was not sabotage. I'm honestly shocked because I would have thought that Russia had something to do with it.
Global Peace Summit without Russia. Nuclear safety, food security, and restoration of a just peace. These are the themes for a Global Peace Summit. Invitations have been sent to 160 countries. Yet, not to Russia. Wait, but Russia started the war. Does it make sense without them? It actually does, because the only way to force the aggressor to peace is through a powerful common position of the global majority they can't ignore. As in World War II, all major conferences, including the final one at Potsdam, were held without the aggressor, just as the instigators of World War I and their allies were excluded, only joining after draft peace treaties were prepared. Despite everything, Ukraine tried. Almost 200 rounds of negotiations with Russia in various formats and mediation. And yet, here we are. So the world already knows, engaging the bully does not work. Russia may still join the negotiations later, but it will not dictate the terms. Just peace will be planned by the countries that have not violated it.
And I think that's very reasonable. Russia should not be present at any sort of peace negotiations at any level because they don't negotiate, they dictate terms, and they blackmail. The president of the Czech Republic rejected most of the Czechs' requests for permission to fight for Ukraine, according to Rozhlas. Since taking office last March, Czech President Petr Pavel has reviewed 95 applications for permission to join the armed forces. In total, he answered affirmatively to only 25 of them. His predecessor, Miloš Zeman, also rejected the majority of requests. During his tenure, 132 people received permission out of 477 applicants. Those with criminal records, police officers, professional military personnel, active reservists, and those who have completed basic military service in the past do not receive permits. Permission from the president is a necessary step for those Czechs who want to legally help Ukraine fight against Russia. Otherwise, they face criminal prosecution. I think this is done in order to limit the amount of people that, for instance, this is something that we were talking about. I don't think this is a bad thing on behalf of the Czech president. I think that the media was trying to make it a bad thing because they're like, look at him, he's rejecting these people from wanting to come and help. I think the idea here is more so, I don't know what I'm doing wrong with my camera, but I don't like how it is. Oh, wow. You're getting very nice visuals on YouTube. But basically, like, I think the idea here is that we were just talking about it the other day, right? How a lot of volunteers who come here are very good people, but a lot of them are also people that are running from something. Drug addicts, people with criminal records, people who are coming here to solicit donations and stuff like that. I think he's doing that in order to prevent that from happening, because literally what it says here is that, active military, active reservists, like police officers, people with criminal records are not allowed to go. So that makes sense, because he's basically weeding out which people he's letting go, because he doesn't want like convicts or people with like criminal records to just run away and start a military career in Ukraine, Okay. In Ukraine, the joint production site of Ukrbronprom and Rheinmetall, a workshop for the repair and production of armored vehicles, has become operational. This marks the first implemented project within the partnership between Ukrbronprom and the German defense giant. Currently, this facility will enable faster repairs of foreign equipment, allowing it to be quickly returned to the front lines. In the future, new armored vehicles will also be produced here. Ooh. That's really cool. The meeting of the contact group on the defense of Ukraine in the Ramstein format will take place this week, according to the North Atlantic Alliance's website. The Warzone publication released a satellite image showing a damaged Russian Su-57 fifth-generation fighter at the Akhtubinsk airfield in the Astrakhan region. The damage occurred during a drone attack on the night of June 8th. Do you remember that little Kinjal carrier? This is what it looks like now. Oopsie doopsie. So sad. We're so sad about this. So sad. Aw. Sad. That's a Kinjal carrier. There used to be 6. Now there are 5 operational ones. Switzerland has confirmed the participation of almost 90 countries and organizations in the Summit on Peace for Ukraine. The Swiss Federal Council will announce a detailed list of those present on the evening of June 14th, the Swiss president clarified. The U.S. canceled the ban on the transfer of American weapons to Azov, which had been in effect since 2017, with WP or Washington Post with reference to the State Department. Woo! Poland to establish buffer zone on the border with Belarus. Should have done that a long time ago, to be honest. We adopted a resolution resulting in an order from the Minister of Internal Affairs and Administration to establish a zone on the border with Belarus. The zone will span several tens of kilometers and have a depth of 200 meters. In some nature reserve areas, the zone will extend up to 2 kilometers, but these are short sections, Polish radio quotes Tusk. Tusk emphasized the necessity of these measures to hinder the illegal transfer of migrants across the border. Recently, there have been 50 attacks on Polish soldiers, and border guards Mateusz Sidek died from a knife wound. He was a guard. We cannot allow any harm to our soldiers or officers, or to the Republic of Poland itself. This violence by foreigners against Poland is unacceptable, President Andrzej Duda added. I mean, this is a great idea. I think it should have been implemented a while ago. Like, there is no reason to have waited this long, but I also understand because, I mean, I'm sure they have more important things to take care of. You guys, it's 2:30. It's bedtime for me. I don't have to wake up uber early tomorrow, but I do have to wake up and, do some preparation for the pilot. I do want to wake up like early and sort of like, have a little kind of like outline. Oh, my phone just died. I didn't even notice. That hasn't happened in a very long time. But yeah, if you were on TikTok, I'm so sorry. My phone died. If you were not on TikTok, well, then you're still here. Wow, this has been here the whole time. That's gross. That's the moth tissue. Okay, you guys. Well, good night. I will see you tomorrow. And thank you so very much for the donations. I really, really appreciate them. And thank you for all the comments. And I hope you enjoyed the lightning through the what are they called? Skylights. And I will see you Are you going to keep the super colorful nails when you go on TV? Well, this time, yes. Next time, no, because they're super grown out. And this one, wait, I'll show you. This one is like literally lifting. See? This is the nail polish lifting off of the thing. So I actually need to get it fixed. I need to like go get this gel polish removed, and like I want to repaint them. But yeah, hey, colorful nails are part of my thing. Although I was planning on doing them just in this like very, nude color next time I do my nails. But a neon green thing could be cool too. Anyways, okay. Good night, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. Thank you for commenting. I love you, and I see you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Maria. And wait, who said good luck who said good luck tomorrow? Thank you, Andy. Wait. Someone said oh, Carolyn. Thank you. Okay. Bye. Ooh.